What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. We're going to get into TNA Impact from February the 27th, 2025. This show was not that good. I'm very disappointed in TNA with the atrocious booking decisions that they made on this show. So we kicked the show off with the lame system. So Eddie Edwards gets on the mic and says, last week JDC took out Leon Slater, and a future star found out what happens when you cross the system. JDC says you either run with the system or you get ran over. So then Moose is about to get on the mic and speak, but the crowd chants, Oba's going to kill you. Moose says a couple of weeks ago he went in Oba's universe and he shook his whole world up. Moose says Oba Femi took it a step further to show that he's some kind of warrior. Moose says there's a difference between being the ruler of NXT and the face of the franchise. Moose says there's something that's been bothering him. He says Jeff Hardy pinned him twice, and that bothers him because he's not who he used to be. That being Jeff Hardy. Moose says Jeff got lucky, and tonight his luck runs out. Brian Myers says Leon Slater and Oba Femi aren't system material. Brian Myers says that Eddie Colon and Orlando Colon just might have what it takes to be system material. So the Colones, they show up. Eddie Colon says this is their profession, and there's only an elite few wrestlers who know what that means. He says he respects what he sees in the ring. Orlando says they came to TNA to show what it means to be a Colon. He says in order to fight in TNA, they figured out what fight against the system when they fight with the system. Moose says he likes them, and the whole locker room knows things go easy when you trust the system. This was an okay segment, but again, I don't understand why TNA continues to push the system. They're not over. I get they get reactions, but they are not over. They are not somebody that you need to build your show around anymore. The system has been around for about, I would say, roughly close to 2 years, and they need to kind of get rid of the system. You know, I don't understand why you have to have such a boring, lame faction. I like the Colones, but them joining up the system makes me kind of despise them. And again, I'm a fan of the Colones. They are good heels, and they can be pretty good baby faces when they want to be. But them aligning themselves with the system is dumb. I hate it. And this segment was a waste of time. Moving on, so Gia Miller is backstage. So Spitfire is there. Daniel Luna says they're here to fight, and that is why they're the champions. Jody Threat says if they want to be the Aaron girls for 24 hours, who are they to say no? Jody says they have a long list of things for them to do, and then they mention Mohawks for whatever reason. All right. I don't really care about this shit, but it is what it is. Moving on. The system, they're backstage. Oh my God. So they run into Leon Slater, and there's like this massive argument. The Hardys get involved and everything else, and everybody's just shouting and screaming. What a dumb segment, but it is what it is. Moving on. First match of the night. Mike Santana defeated Oro Mensah. Yes, NXT's Oro Mensah is back. I'm guessing he's been injured. The same thing with Noam Dar. Both of those guys have been on the shelf for quite some time. I wouldn't be shocked that in due time, Triple H ends up calling up the Metaphor. He'll call the Metaphor girls first, that being Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and then he'll probably call up Oro Mensah and Noam Dar, maybe. I don't know. You could use them as a tag team down in NXT, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if either Noam Dar or Oro Mensah have main roster potential. I don't really see it in them. Noam Dar's been around for about 8 to 10 years. I'm like, damn, how does he keep on, surviving? I mean, I like Noam Dar. He's a pretty good character. He can do good character work. But outside of that, no. But this does make sense. Mike Santana got the win via spin the block. All right, that's cool. Again, I don't understand why they're still trying to push Mike Santana to make him the face of TNA. He's not. Clearly, the face of TNA is Joe Hendry. Again, he's your world champion. So that's really who's the face of the franchise. Whoever is your world champion, that's the standard. That's your top guy, right? So TNA's top guy is Joe Hendry, not Mike Santana. And I still do think that Mike Santana is going to be the one to dethrone He's going to be the one to dethrone Moose. So, that could happen. Maybe. I don't know. We have to wait and see. Moving on. So, we get a Mustafa Ali video. It plays on the screen asking who Mike Santana really is. It's a voiceover that says he's still on the sauce. And then Mustafa Ali says that he approves this message. This was great. This literally happened after Mike Santana's match. So I love this. This is excellent shit. I laughed when I saw this because it was just funny as fuck. Like, I love when they do stuff like this. This is great. I love it. And I am very intrigued with this Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana feud. I'm interested in seeing where it goes and how long it's going to last. Clearly, they're going to do a match at Sacrifice in a couple weeks. And hopefully, we get more than just one match. I would love for this to be a trilogy. I think that could be good because Mustafa Ali, he's good in ring and he's also good in the character department. Mike Santana, same thing. So I'm very interested in the Mike Santana Mustafa Ali feud. Should be a blast in due time. Moving on. So, no, my bad. Not moving on. So Mike Santana, he's backstage. He's looking for Mustafa Ali. He finds the Good Hands and Tasha Steelz. And he asked him, where's Mustafa Ali? John Skyler asked if he thinks Mustafa Ali has time for him. So, John Skyler says that he'll relay the message to Mustafa Ali. And then Mike Santana asked how about he relays his foot in his ass. Pause, that being Mustafa Ali. That was pretty funny, I guess. Not really, though. Moving on. Tessa Blanchard, she finally competed on this show. She defeated a jobber by the name of Kelsey Heather. She wins via the buzzsaw, which is great. The match only lasted for about maybe a minute, so I do like that. So Masha Slamovich was watching the match backstage. Then Cora Jade from NXT shows up. She attacked Masha Slamovich, laid her out. Cora Jade says she doesn't know why Masha is worried about Tessa Blanchard when Cora Jade is the one who's going to take her title at Sacrifice. Okay, I like this. This makes sense. Clearly, we know that Masha Slamovich is going to beat the ever-living shit out of Cora Jade for sure. But the match should be okay, and I like what they're doing. I really do. Moving on. So this leads us into Joe Hendry. He's backstage with Elijah. Elijah says there are two people who know how to put on a show. Joe Hendry said he's seen this movie before. He turns around, and when he sees this guitar wrapped around his head, Elijah says he has nothing to worry about, and he's got a friend here. Joe Hendry says as long as he believes in Joe Hendry, he can walk with Elijah. So, the system, they're sorry asses. They show up again for a third time. JDC says they run the show here. All right, this is fine, I guess. Clearly, they're going to turn Elijah heel in due time. I would imagine once Joe Hendry defeats Nick Nemeth at Rebellion, then that's when we'll probably have Elias turn heel, and maybe you do Elias versus Joe Hendry at Slammiversary. I think that would be great. Elijah looks jacked as shit. He looks jacked to the gills, and I'm happy that TNA has signed Elijah. Great stuff. Great stuff. Moving on. So, Steve Maclin defeats Casey Navarra. So, apparently, AJ Francis, Top Dollar, his sorry ass tried to get involved. Maclin took him out. And then the Northern Armory, Eric Young and his crew, they showed up. And they just sat on the ramp. Nothing happened, basically. Who cares? Steve Maclin, it's time for him to go. The main reason I say that is because he's been there for 4 years and he's not really done much of anything. I get he cut an emotional promo online. That's fine, but again, clearly the company doesn't care about him, and TNA is not going to use him. Him, Eric Young, and all of them, those guys need to go because those guys are all gatekeepers. You know, Maclin has been in the business for 11 years, and he's not done much of anything. Macklin's not going to get a push. He was only world champion for 55 days, not even a full 2 months. And, you know, I don't know what to say, but I don't give a single fuck about this Steve Maclin, Eric Young feud. It's worthless. Like, seriously. Neither of them are over, and it's just time for them to move on with Eric Young and his crew, as well as Steve Maclin. I like Steve Maclin, but it seems like the NWA or MLW would be a good fit for him because he's been in TNA for 4 years, and he's not done much of anything. Moving on. So, Tessa Blanchard, she's backstage. She finds Lee Ying Lee, a.k.a. Zaya Brookside. My bad. Zaya Lee says she talks too much. Tessa Blanchard says he doesn't deserve to breathe the same air as her, and she's not on her level. So, Santino Marella hears all this commotion, and he separates the two of them, and Santino Marella books Tessa Blanchard versus Lee Ying Lee at Sacrifice. So that should be fun. Really good stuff there. Moving on. So, Spitfire, they defeat Heather and Ash by Elegance, and they retain the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, and the Elegance girls must be the personal concierge. All right, this is fine, I guess. It is what it is. So basically, they're just cleaning up some stuff backstage. They're messing with, I believe it was Dirty Threat's dog and stuff like that. Had to walk him and stuff. Pretty funny stuff. But again, really and truthfully, what are they doing with Ash and Heather by Elegance? Not much of anything. I don't fucking know. Moving on, Mance Warner versus Sami Callihan. It ended in DQ. The two of them had a brawl backstage and everything else. And then Santino Marella showed up, and he gets on the mic and he makes a street fight for Sacrifice. So it's going to be Sami Callihan versus Mance Warner. All right. Mance Warner hasn't really got much of a reaction, and Sami Callihan is an also-ran. It's time for TNA to start parting away, to part ways with Sami Callihan. All right? Seriously. Sami needs to either go to AEW or try to do something in like NWA, MLW or NWA, whatever. Just get off of just get away from TNA. Moving on, Frankie Kazarian defeats Ace Austin via the help of Wesley and Tyson and Tyreek from NXT. All right, that's cool there, I guess. Not really, though. The Rascals, they come out to make the save. They have steel chairs with them, and the heels, they skedaddle. Meaning that is what Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford should have done in AEW basically like a week ago. But it is what it is, so who cares? What's done is done. It's over and done with. Moving on. So, Ash and Heather by Elegance, they're being tortured with tedious tasks from Spitfire. So, Jody Threat and Denny Luna tells them they have to walk their dog. The other one has to carry their bags. And it's funny, so it's kind of funny with this stuff. Main event of the evening, Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers. They defeat Oba Femi and the Hardys. Yes, I kid you not. Matt Hardy took the pin in this shit, and I was floored at TNA. I'm like, TNA, what in the actual fuck are you doing? This is dumb as shit. I get what they're doing, but it didn't need to happen at all, period. Oba Femi dominated, but, it is what it is. So, basically, there was a bunch of chaos that broke out. So, the system, they beat down the Hardys, and then the Colognes, they came out, and then Joe Hendry and Elijah, they show up to make the save. Santino comes out. He announces it's going to be Moose versus Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the TNA X Division Championship. And it's going to be the System, which is, it's going to be the System and the Colognes versus Joe Hendry, Matt Hardy, and 3 partners of their choosing. So, Elijah is definitely one of them. I don't know the other 2. But, this is fine, I guess. It's not really that important. It's going to be a 10-man tag at Sacrifice. It is what it is, I guess. But this episode of TNA this week was not that good. I'm very disappointed that TNA decided to have Oba Femi lose. Like, even though he didn't actually officially lose, but Oba Femi should have won for his team. Matt Hardy shouldn't have been taking the pinfall at all, but that's just me. I forgot to mention Ryan Nemeth came out on the show and said that Nick Nemeth is going to be live. He's going to be back at Sacrifice on March 14th. Okay, who cares? We all knew this, so it is what it is. But I am excited for Sacrifice to an extent. We've got 2 more weeks left to build the card. It seems like they've got most of that figured out and filled out. So that's fine there. I'm digging the Mike Santana, Mustafa Ali feud. I like that. I like what they're doing with Joe Hendry and Elijah. I like that. Everything else on the show is okay. But what did you guys think of TNA? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.